So what is going on, everyone? Doozy here, and welcome back to some Destiny 2. Alright guys, so today I'm going to go over all 24 confirmed exotics that are going to be coming in Forsaken. So obviously, major disclaimer here, if you want to avoid any spoilers, and I guess remain in the dark and have like an element of surprise, then do not watch this video. You know, if you want to discover everything for yourself, skip out on this. And also, another thing to mention, even though all these exotics I'm going to cover, you know, they've either been revealed through trailers or they've been found in the database, that doesn't mean that these are going to be all the exotics in Forsaken, because they've said before that, you know, they want to have some like hidden exotic quests that we won't expect, or things that we'll have to discover on our own, like the Whisper quest. So I'd say more than likely we're going to have some more exotics that are just hidden right now. But with that out of the way, I guess let's go ahead and get started. And I guess we'll start out with the ones that Bungie, they put out in the new Loot to Chase trailer, where it was just a short video where they're basically just showing off some exotics, you know, kind of get the hype going. So obviously the one at the forefront of everything that it's really being promoted is the Ace of Spades, Cade's exotic hand cannon. So this is in the 140 RPM archetype, and its first exotic perk is called Memento Mori, and it says that reloading after a kill loads the magazine with a few extra damage bullets, and it also grants radar while aiming down sight. So basically third eye for that second part. But the part about the extra damage bullets, that kind of sounds like a better version of kill clip if you think about it. Well, I guess depending on the situation, because with kill clip, you know, you have a certain amount of time, a few seconds after you get that kill and reload, that the perk's actually active, whereas the way this sounds is it's just going to straight up load like extra damage bullets into your mag, and unless they have a timer on those bullets, then you should be able to, you know, patrol around and especially take advantage of that in like PvP. Although I could be wrong about that, but that's at least how it sounds right now. But its second exotic perk is called Firefly, so it says precision kills increase reload speed and cause the target to explode, dealing solar damage to nearby enemies. And really quick, a thing to mention about that, it's actually pretty interesting that it says that it's going to increase the reload speed, because normally Firefly just caused targets to explode back in Destiny 1. So it sounds like we're going to get like a mini version of Outlaw with it, which is pretty cool. But anyways, after that we have the Cerberus +1 auto rifle. So this was actually showed off in some Game Informer gameplay, and this thing is in the 360 RPM class. So for its first exotic perk, it is called the Four-Headed Dog, and it says that it shoots erratic bullets from all gun barrels at the same time. And then the next perk that kind of goes along with that is called Spread Shot Package, where aiming this weapon reduces the spread of its projectiles. From the gameplay we got to see with Game Informer, this thing did seem to have like a lot of kick, although it put out some pretty good damage, so I guess that's a fair trade-off. But next up after that we have the Malfeasance exotic hand cannon, and this is in the 180 RPM class. So its first perk is called Explosive Shadow, and it says that you shoot tainted slugs that burrow into the enemy, and stacking enough slugs cause them all to explode. So that sounds really cool right there. It's I mean, for one, this exotic looks pretty amazing. And also, I'm pretty sure that you're going to have to get this from a Gambit quest. At least that's what the rumors going around have been saying. But as far as its other perk, it's called Taken Predator, and it says bonus damage against taken enemies and Gambit invaders. So that's pretty neat. But then next up after that, we have the Two-Tailed Fox exotic rocket launcher. And its exotic perk is called Twin Tails, and it says it shoots 2 rockets, 1 void and 1 solar, that can track onto the same target. Although in the little trailer they showed, when he actually shot this, the rockets kind of split, and they went after 2 guardians in PvP, so I don't exactly know how that'll work, but it was still pretty neat. And as for its other perk, it's called Play With Your Prey, and the Void Rocket suppresses enemies, and the Solar Rocket causes damage over time. So I can see this being pretty useful in PvE on some of the bosses, as long as those effects are actually noticeable. But next up after that we have the Black Talon Sword. So its first perk is called Crow's Wing, and in the description in the database it just says press and it has a comma. So I'm guessing they mean the shoot button, whatever you have that set to. And it says press that to fire off a projectile cross combo. And as for its other perk, it's called Tireless Blade, and it says powered sword kills grant sword ammo. But the next up after that we have the 1000 Voices fusion rifle, and its first perk is called Ahamkara's Eye, and it says charging this weapon unleashes a giant continuous beam of death. And as for its second perk, it's called Unforeseen Repercussions, where this weapon's beam superheats its target upon impact, causing delayed explosions. And we'd actually see that in the little trailer they showed off. The Warlock was like flying through the air, and he actually shot the ground and then exploded. So this one's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. Anyways, after that we have the Wish Ender Bow. So its first perk is Queen's Wrath, and it says while aiming down sights with a fully drawn bow, enemies behind walls are highlighted. And as for its second perk, it's called Broadhead, which says it's an over-penetrating arrowhead that damages the target on entry and exit. And actually in the little trailer they showed, I'm pretty sure he got a collat with this bow. So that was pretty neat. But then as for the other exotic bow, it's called the Trinity Ghoul, and its first perk is called Split Electron, which fires an arrow that splits when released, and aiming down sights and fully drawing the bow both decrease the spread. And as far as its second perk is called Lightning Rod, where precision kills grant the next shot chain lightning capabilities. And once again, they showed this off in the trailer. But then after that, for the armor pieces they showed off, the first one was the 6 Coyote Hunter chest piece. And his perk is called Double Dodge, and as you can guess, you gain a second dodge charge. It also looks pretty cool, I'll say that. But next up we have the Antaeus Ward's Exotic Titan Boots. So its exotic perk is called Reflective Vents, and it says you get an improved slide, and the sliding reflects incoming projectiles, and also reflecting projectiles grant super energy. So it sounds cool in concept. It's kind of like the artifact we had in Destiny 1 where you could guard with a sword, and you could like send stuff flying back at people. I don't know if it'll be as useful as that, but it's still pretty neat. And then the last one they showed off, the one that I'm really excited about, is the Chromatic Fire Warlock chest piece. So its exotic perk is called Crystalline Transistor, and it says that precision kills with your kinetic weapon create an explosion in the element of your equipped subclass. As I mentioned, I'm really excited to try this out. And also I wonder if the explosion calls can kind of like stack with the like a modifier, such as like if it's arc burn and you're using an arc subclass, if the modifier will actually apply to that explosion. Because if that's going to be the case, it's going to be really, really neat. Alright, so that was it for the ones that Bungie actually showed in the trailer. Now, these other ones are the ones that have been found in the database. So once again, another disclaimer, if you want to kind of remain in the dark about this, then don't watch the rest of the video. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start off with the Warlock exotics. So the first one are the Contraverse Hold gauntlets, and its exotic perk is called Chaotic Exchanger, and it says charging your grenade with Chaos Accelerant, Consume, or Radioactive will give you a damage resist, and also charged grenade hits return a random amount of grenade energy. But then after that we have the Phoenix Protocol chest piece, and its exotic perk is called Battle Hearth. So it says the kills and assists you make while standing in your Well of Radiance return super energy. So I actually think that one's going to be really good, because the Well of Radiance is going to both heal you and also give you a damage boost. Now, it all depends on how much super energy you get from this, because if it's like a minuscule amount, then that'll kind of be a letdown, but we'll just have to wait and see. But then lastly, we have the Geomag Stabilizers, which are exotic boots, and its exotic perk is called Close Enough, and it says that when Chaos Reach super energy is almost full, sprinting tops it off, and also damaging enemies with Chaos Reach extends its duration. So once again, that sounds neat, but it all comes down to how practical it's going to be. Probably have to do some testing to see, how close your super can be to being full before you can actually start sprinting for it to work. But besides that, the damaging enemies, extending the duration, that's always good. But then after that, we have the Titan exotics. So the first one is the One-Eyed Mask, and I've actually kind of teased this in the trailer, but its exotic perk is called Vengeance. So it says it marks enemies that dares to damage you, and track down and destroy your enemies for increased damage and overshield. Honestly, this sounds like it has potential to be amazing. Because, I mean, imagine taking shots from someone and, being able to outplay them and get the kill. You're going to get some increased damage as well as an overshield, which is just crazy. But anyways, after that, we have one called Ursa Furiosa. It sounds like a Harry Potter spell or something. And its exotic perk is called Ursing Guard. And it says that you move faster while guarding with the Sentinel Shield. And also guarded damage converts to super energy when the super ends. So this sounds like it'll go really well with the new Sentinel super, since it's based, completely off of guarding. Hopefully you get a good chunk of super energy after it's over. But then lastly for the Titans, we have the Heart of Inmost Light, which is an exotic chest piece. And its exotic perk is called Overflowing Light. And it says using a grenade, melee, or barricade ability empowers you, granting increased damage and resilience. And also, while empowered, the next ability you use has faster regen. So once again, this one actually sounds really good too. Like one combo I thought of was, what if you had the Hollow Fire Heart on, and your super was full, and you pop your barricade, and then after that you use your grenade, and from the description of this, since you're going to be empowered after you used your barricade, your grenade will then in turn recharge faster since you used it after that. So yeah, it sounds really interesting. I'm excited to get my hands on that and test it out. But yeah, anyways, that's it for the Titan exotics. So last but not least, we have the Hunter exotics. So the first one is the Oathkeeper exotic gauntlets, and its exotic perk is Adamantine Brace, and it says the bow charges faster and charges can be held indefinitely. And I think we actually saw these in the trailer too. They had like this really like royal looking design to them. But then after that we have the Shards of Galanor, which are exotic gauntlets as well. And their exotic perk is Sharp Edges, so hits and kills with Blade Barrage will return super energy after the super ends. Once again, this does sound really interesting. It just all comes down to how much super energy you get back. But they have potential to be good. But then lastly, we have the Gwisin Vest, which is an exotic hunter chest piece. And its exotic perk is called Roving Assassin. And it says that each Spectral Blade skill you make before going into stealth will restore more of your super energy. Now, I don't know if that means it's going to restore it after the super's over, or if like you'll get a little bump of super energy back while you actually are still using it. I would say it's probably the later, since it doesn't say anything about when your super ends. Alright, yeah, but anyways, that was it for all of the exotic armor pieces. Now, lastly, we have some of the exotic weapons that were found in the database. So for starters, the first one was the Chaperone exotic shotgun, which was amazing in Destiny 1. Well, it was amazing if you knew how to use it. But for the 2 perks it has listed for this, the first one is Precision Slug, and it says that it fires a single slug precision round. And then after that, its exotic perk is called Roadborne, and it says where precision kills briefly grant bonus handling, range, and precision damage with this weapon. So once again, this thing can be really good as long as you know how to use it. But then after that, we have another exotic shotgun, the Lord of Wolves. So its first perk is called Shrapnel Launcher, and it says it fires a powerful short-range burst of solar damage. And then for its exotic perk, it's called Release the Wolves, and it says defeating an enemy doubles the number of projectiles per burst for a short time. Hopefully this is as good as it was in Destiny 1 after Age of Triumph, because I always liked the way that this shotgun looked with the Fallen theme and everything. But then after that, we have the Wavesplitter exotic trace rifle. Now, disclaimer, this is a PlayStation exclusive, so that does kind of suck. You know, they're screwing over the rest of the fan base. But anyways, for its perks, its first one is Harmonic Laser. And it says a laser damage has 3 power levels that oscillate while the trigger is held down, which then goes with its next perk, which is called Supercharged Battery. And it says that collecting an orb of light grants a short period of maximum power that starts with an automatic reload. We also get to see some gameplay with this in a new PlayStation video they put out, where they're running through one of the strikes. I'm pretty sure it was a PlayStation exclusive strike too. But yeah, this thing looks pretty interesting. It's got a pretty cool design, and also it's a void damage, so it completes the exotic solar and void for the trace rifles. But anyways, after that, another one is the Queenbreaker's bow. Oh, never mind, it's the Queenbreaker. I'm gonna have to get over that. But anyways, it's a linear fusion rifle, and as for its perk, it's called Wire Rifle, and it fires a long-range precision arc bolt that blinds enemies on hit. It also has another listing for the perk where it says it has hip fire grip, but I mean, that's not anything amazing. But as for the arc bolt that blinds enemies, that's actually new because it didn't do that in Destiny 1. So it'd be pretty interesting to see how that turns out. So technically, if you don't have PlayStation, that was only 23 new exotics that are going to be coming. Although, the Borealis is now going to be available to everyone, so technically it's 24. I mean, honestly, I really like the Borealis. I think it's really good, especially now that it's in the special slot. You know, you can use like a cluster bomb rocket with it if you want. But just in case you don't know the perks, the first one is the Fundamentals, and it's where holding the reload button changes this weapon's damage type, and cycling between solar, arc, and void. And its other exotic perk is called Ionic Return, where breaking an enemy shield transfers 1 bullet from reserves, and also breaking a combatant shield or the shield of a guardian using a super with that shield's energy type grants double damage for the rest of the magazine. So yeah, this is definitely really good, especially if you can get the shield break in PvE, and you know, throw on some Lunafaction boots with an Empowering Rift. This thing can definitely tear through some bosses, that's for sure. I mean, I'm not saying it's a whisper of the worm, but it's not nothing to look down on. So yeah, PC and Xbox users will now have access to the Borealis, so I guess that's better than nothing. So anyways, that was all of the confirmed exotics so far. I do want to mention that in the trailer Bungie put out where they were showing off a bunch of the new exotics, there was actually a shotgun that looked like it had, you know, Hive runes on it. But in the actual trailer, they didn't show a name or a description of it or anything. And they didn't even show it like in action. They just showed the person holding it. And I didn't find anything else in the database that could possibly be an exotic shotgun unless they just have it hidden. So you never know, that could be a hidden exotic. Or one of the other possibilities I thought this could maybe be is the... I'm pretty sure they were talking about a legendary ornament or ornaments for legendary weapons or something like that. So maybe that could be what this is. Honestly, I have no idea. I would say since it was shown in a video of nothing of exotics, then that's more than likely what it is. But right now, I have no clue. Haven't seen it in the database, you know, no information on it, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So anyways, guys, that was all 24 or 25, I guess, exotics coming to Forsaken, if you include the Borealis. So yeah, let me know which one that you actually are the most excited for. As I mentioned, I think the Chromatic Fire chest piece for the Warlock. For some reason, I'm just really excited to try that one out. I don't know why. It stood out the most to me at first. Also, the Malfeasance hand cannon. I really want to try that one out too because, you know, it has that Taken theme. Kind of looked like the Thorn at first. But that exotic perk it has is really neat. So those two are probably the top of the list for me. But I guess let me know what you all think. So yeah, anyways, that's about it for this video. So as always, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, you could take a second to leave a thumbs up on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And also subscribe if you're new here. And speaking of subscribing, for any of my other subscribers, I've kind of been slacking off on content recently because I've been having a lot of problems with my computer. It's a piece of junk. But I think I got most of it fixed now, so hopefully I can pump out a bunch of content for Forsaken. So I guess be on the lookout for that. But other than that, as I mentioned, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll catch you all later.